Gravity is not what tells your body where it actually is. We think balance is just muscle strength, but our sense of self-motion relies on a delicate neurological compass. When that internal gyroscope malfunctions, even slightly, the system known as cerebellar vestibulocochlear afferent loop dysregulation, you start to perceive reality shifting, like walking through water instead of air. It is not paranoia. It is input failure. Think of your inner ear sensors as a failing navigation unit in an airplane, causing the pilot, which is your brainstem, to lose its stable signal. This perceptual instability correlates directly with measurable shifts in nervous system stability, reducing vital signs like heart rate variability. We are moving toward protocols that prove this. Training motion control can objectively stabilize the vagal tone beneath your awareness. The relationship is not purely about failure mechanisms. There are pathways leading toward extreme stability. When your system optimizes itself, that same delicate sensory processing shifts dramatically. We are looking at how a tightly coupled connection between the vestibular input and the body map, the somatosensory data, can actually optimize focus in ways we used to call transcendence. Think of it like tuning a massive radio dial. Perfect calibration means you hear crystal clear signals amid static. This enhanced coherence, especially activity within the prefrontal cortex while balancing, allows for peak attentional states or flow conditions by perfecting proprioceptive feedback loops. What we are seeing is not just better focus. It is a fundamental shift in how the brain maps itself. When that proprioceptive feedback system achieves maximum tightness, the process creates specific electrical harmony. Look at the parietal lobe coherence. This is where spatial awareness lives, and when it synchronizes during controlled balance tasks, you are not just balanced. You are experiencing something profoundly stable, a kind of heightened perceptual connection. The stability is not a soft feeling. It translates directly into objective measures like enhanced vagal signaling in your core nervous system, which means there is an unexpected feedback loop connecting the most esoteric internal state with hard physiological metrics, and this changes everything for how we track true resilience. We know stability is a physiological marker, but the real game changer is what happens in your higher brain function when that sensory loop tightens up. It is not merely about feeling grounded. It is about optimizing how you use all of your mental energy. Think of your nervous system like an immense conductor trying to manage hundreds of musicians at once. When vestibular input allows for flawless proprioceptive feedback, the prefrontal cortex gets a huge reduction in background processing noise. This is not just better concentration. This is radically enhanced executive function capacity under stress. Some researchers claim sensory over-reliance actually fragments attention rather than stabilizing it against distraction. But we have data showing that precise calibration can make your brain work with incredible efficiency, giving you an attentional bandwidth usually reserved for peak performance states. This changes how biohackers track resilience, not by measuring calm, but by measuring cognitive throughput during instability itself. The data suggests these micro shifts in stability are doing something far more profound than improving focus. When that cerebellar feedback loop starts breaking down completely, the effect spills beyond simple balance issues. You do not just get distracted. Your brain begins misinterpreting foundational sensory input itself. It is as if the internal operating system of perception is stuttering its data feed to you. The receptors are firing correctly enough, but what happens when that information fails to integrate into a cohesive sense of self-motion or external space changes everything? We see this correlated with alterations in brainstem autonomic signaling patterns, suggesting we are touching something deep within the regulator systems of our being. What those altered signals ultimately trigger is still unclear, and figuring it out may be why some people report entering completely different states of awareness during these moments of severe instability. But there is something far stranger than simple system failure taking place here. We have always viewed these deep shifts, moments where perception fractures or heightens beyond description, purely through a lens of biological breakdown, a faulty sensor loop, a nervous system overload. Yet our data suggests an alternate reading entirely. When the body's internal reference frame is severely challenged, when you are losing your grip on stable coordinates, the same mechanisms that cause disorientation can also drive extreme integration between sensory systems and cortical function. Think of it like hitting maximum speed in a vehicle, chaos, or absolute control. We must ask, is this dysregulation simply damage, Or is it the precondition for achieving an incredibly optimized way of processing reality? The critical gap in our field is translating what you subjectively feel, that feeling of internal clarity or enhanced connection, into objective, measurable data points. We have established that shifts in sensory processing correlate directly with deep physiological markers like autonomic signaling changes. The solution lies in precision practice. Specifically, target gaze stabilization drills while simultaneously monitoring your metrics, whether it is vagal tone or heart rate variability. This provides a direct biometrics bridge, confirming the stability you feel internally through verifiable system optimization. You gain the ability to measure true resilience by observing quantifiable neurological tightening under pressure itself. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com. We started by questioning how stability works. Now we understand that peak self-awareness or profound clarity is not always a passive state. It is often an acute biological negotiation where refined sensory processing tightens your internal coordinates under stress. The biggest hurdle for anyone tracking their performance is bridging the subjective feeling of improved calm to hard biometric data like vagal tone increases. Stop waiting for perfect stillness before you measure yourself. Start training while sensing that nervous system tightening and measuring the resulting shift in HRV immediately after those precise movements. This provides your quantifiable link, transforming abstract self-improvement into measurable neurological mastery. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.